Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Olympic story powered by Sports Adda. And as our saga continues, today we reach a very exciting chapter, yes, in this story. And I'm now talking about a sport which is the second most played in the country after cricket, which is, of course, badminton. Now, badminton has seen a great rise in its popularity and everyone is always excited whenever we talk about badminton, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that there has been a great emergence of global superstars like Saina Nehwal, PV Sindhu, Kidambi Shrikant, Parupalli Kashyap, and many others. And today, of course, we have with us a luminary, yes, a man who has been a very important cog in the wheel as far as this machinery of badminton is concerned for India. And I'm talking about the man who has created history at the London Olympics by becoming the very first badminton male player to reach the quarterfinals. He won a gold in 2014 in the Commonwealth Games. He is, of course, an Arjuna awardee. His career high ranking has been 6. He has won 2 titles on the BWF Grand Prix and, of course, a BWF Super International Series. I'm, of course, talking about the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Parupalli Kashyap. Welcome to the show, Kashyap. How are you doing? It's a true honor to have you on the show. And
Thank you.
it's very exciting to of course, before we get right into the Olympics, our contingent, how are we going to fare there and all of that, I think it would be a little important to kind of shed light on this one little fact, Kashyap, which is the meteoric rise of badminton. Now, would you attribute it to the fact that it was that historic 2011 Ashwini Ponappa and Jwala Gutta, where they won, a bronze medal in World Championship? We ended the drought of 28 years, and since then, we have never returned from the marquee event without a single medal. That, and obviously Saina Nehwal becoming the world number one in 2015, and of course, then in 2018, we have another Indian badminton player who achieves that feat. So, would you think that these are the two pivotal points? Shrikant, Kidambi, who did it in 2018, these are the two pivotal points which kind of suddenly made everyone sit up and take notice of the sport.
I would say the single first reason, Gopi sir deciding to become a coach. That is probably the first reason why this mindsets have changed in the players and also in the system. He did a lot of things with the Badminton Association of India and the government of India, setting up camps. First basic thing, like all the top players in the country didn't train together. That was the first thing which he changed. We had initially we had 3-month camps over the year, and then it changed to 6 months, and then it became a thing which happened throughout the year. So we had like an all-round year camp, and then next came the exposure. There was funding starting from the 2010 Commonwealth Games. There was funding which started all around the year, which helped us to play probably 10 to 15 tournaments in the year. And slowly, rankings got better of many players, and then it just continued. That program continued from then on. It has never stopped. So I would say the first thing which happened, Gopi sir setting up an academy, and then next was the unbelievable achievements of Saina. Because till then, all the senior players, we had brilliant players, but less exposure, less coaches at the highest level. Probably, all these mattered, but we never crossed the first round. Say in men's singles, all the top players, the national champion in India, wouldn't cross the first round, even probably cross the first round once or twice in the year, and that's about it. In 2007-8, then the Beijing Olympics happened, and then probably everyone got to know that there's Olympics. It's an Olympic sport. It's something other than cricket. And then everyone got popular. We got a couple of medals. Abhinav Bindra won the gold. Vijay Tendulkar got a bronze. Saina came so close to winning a medal. She was leading 11-3 in the third set and lost. So then people took notice of badminton. I think that was the first stage. And then Also that year and the year previously, the men's singles player Anup Sridhar, he made it to the quarterfinals of World Championships. He got a bronze in the Asian Championships, which was not very known because badminton as a sport was not so popular then, but his achievements were really good. And then slowly in 2008, when Saina did well, she got popular. And then in 2009, she won the first Super Series title.
Yeah.
That was probably the first event where I felt I was in the senior team, and then but I was probably the junior most. Me and Saina were the junior most because all our seniors were elder to us, and were probably established national level players. I know that the camp, the mood, the thought process in the camp completely changed then. Because we witnessed Saina beating a couple of players in the semi-finals and the finals. That was a big turnaround, I would say, in mindsets, especially in me. I don't know about others. I had not discussed it, but I know that, it created a sense of belief that we can beat these Chinese players and we can win tournaments. And in 2009, I played a semi-final of a Super Series event. And, I came very close to, winning that match as well. So belief changed. In 2010, it became a regular thing, Saina was continuously winning events at the Super Series level. So it didn't just become a one-off thing. A one-off thing would say, people would call it a fluke, but she kept on doing it. In 2010, she reached world number 2. So mindset in the training camp totally changed. Everyone were thinking, I have to do this.
Yeah.
I was reaching quarterfinals and semifinals, and it was a great achievement in Super Series.
Yeah.
It was no more first round. I went into a tournament thinking, I'm not going to lose first round. There's no way someone's going to come and beat me in the first round. There's no way. So that was my thought process. And in the years to come, Srikanth, Sai, Pranoy, Saurabh, Guru, all these guys were training with me. I knew we had, talent was never a issue here. It was just the belief and, training, fitness, which Gopi sir incorporated in our training regime. We all were very fit. We got fitter. And then slowly I knew the results would flow. And also mindsets, they were training with me, and then they thought quarterfinal is, Kashyap is doing it. Kashyap Bhaiya is doing quarterfinal, semi-final. I need to win. And then slowly that mode changed. A couple of players, Srikanth especially was the breakout performer. He won a couple of GP golds, and then suddenly he went and beat Lindan in the final and won the Super Series. I played the quarterfinals in that event, and who I lost to gave a walkover to Srikanth in the semi-finals. And Srikanth played the final and he won it. That winning made a lot of difference in all of us. As a senior player, even I got motivated from Srikanth, thinking that, what, now quarterfinal and semi-final is not good enough. I need to win the tournament. If I want to be known, if I want to, I want to be as good. So the mindset in the entire group changed. Now no one was thinking anything less than a win. So these things happened.
Well, Kashyap, I'm sure that, going into the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, first and foremost, of course, it's a matter of celebration that finally the event is taking place after whatever the world has gone through. But it's a little unfortunate that we've not been able to send a larger contingent. We've only been able to manage PV Sindhu, who's obviously a huge hope as far as the medal is concerned in the women's singles. Men's singles, we have B Sai Praneeth, and then of course the men's doubles, like you mentioned, Chirag and Satvik are doing wonderfully well. So that unfortunately is a slight little thing to wonder about. I wish we could have sent a larger contingent.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. I don't know what to say. The conditions were such in the last 2 years because of COVID that many tournaments were getting cancelled. The schedule is not sure. We don't know if, we are training for 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Then the 6th week, if there's a tournament, when we are training on the 4th week. And we just don't know what's happening. And the entire year, probably, when the qualification started in 2019 May, until September, October, it was fine. After that, it just went haywire, and not even that. In December, January, we played a couple of events. I think, from February onwards, this was the case. And almost the last stretch of the tournaments, which is probably the most crucial stretch, we had 7 tournaments, and one after another, everything started getting cancelled. We thought, this COVID will settle down, and then suddenly we'll, probably in October 2020, everything will, sort, and these 7 tournaments will happen again. But it just never sorted, and I would, probably criticize a little bit the Badminton World Federation. They could have
Hmm.
chosen one. I think Europe got opened a little more. They could conduct
Yes.
in some events. Probably
Yes.
they could have chosen one particular location and then conducted a couple of events continuously there. Three,
Which is
four
a very
events.
fair point. Which is a very fair point you're making.
Yeah,
Yes.
and in a bubble they could have done that, and this was possible. But they just announced events in India, in Singapore, and Malaysia, and then the second wave happened, and then everything just kept
Hmm.
getting cancelled
Yeah.
one after another. And at the end, I would say, see, by January, me, Srikanth, Saina, and probably a couple of other singles players had a very good chance to qualify.
Hmm.
And say by I didn't hit form by March, probably I would say I'm out at that point
Hmm.
of time, because I needed big performances in the next 5 events. It is possible,
Sure.
but I would say it was very tough. But
Hmm.
when it came to Srikanth, he had to couple of performances he needed, and then he would have been through. And for Saina, it was completely unfortunate. I mean, she just had to
Yeah.
perform. She just had to play. Participate in a couple of tournaments, and it was
True.
it was done. But the chance was not even given, and then no one spoke
Hmm.
about it. BWF just didn't. I just felt didn't care. I mean,
Hmm.
if she is part of the Olympics, she's a medal contender. There's no
For
doubt
sure.
about that. But
For
it's just
sure.
that yeah. I mean, there was no chance. They didn't tweak any rule because of this. They were very adamant that So it was basically whoever performed the first 6-7 months of the qualification time and who did well at that time, they were through.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, in 2019, she had her pancreas issues. She had a couple of niggles, and she could not perform the first part of the qualification event. It happens to
Hmm.
anyone. It just happened to her. She could not hit any form, and she just started hitting form just before the qualification was ending, and then she was looking forward to the next 4 or 5 events, which probably one quarterfinal place would have been enough for her. And unfortunately, it didn't happen, and no one did anything about it. And yeah, it was that nothing else to you can say
It's
about it.
what can one do? One can only right now
Yeah.
ensure that we encourage the team which has gone in for the Olympics Tokyo
Yes.
2020,
Yes. Yes.
and the idea is, of course, now to shift
Yes.
focus on that. Kashyap, if I were to start with the men's singles
Yes.
prospect, right now, if we are talking about a
Yes.
gentleman who's making his Olympic debut, he's 28 years old, Sai
Yes.
Praneeth. He has, of course, done fairly well at the BWF World Championship in 2019. He won a bronze medal for the country. He is considered
Yes.
to be a dark
Yes.
horse. He has been given a tough draw. What would you now
Yes.
feel as far as his approach should be? I mean, what do you think? We've obviously talked about belief, we've talked about all that, but let's face it, a debut is always a debut, and that is at the back of any athlete's mind.
It is tough. It is tough. Yes. 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 It is tough. I mean, Sai Praneeth has been a consistent performer for the last 4 or 5 years. He's been in the top 25 of the world rankings for since 2015, I would say, and been consistently performing at that level. And then the last year was a breakthrough performance, winning the bronze medal in World Championship. I think
Yeah.
after Prakash sir, he's the only player. Me and Anup came close. Anup Sridhar lost in the quarters to Lindan, quite a close match. I lost to another Chinese in 2013 by a single point. So, but winning is winning, and then if it's by a point or by 10 points, the medal counts. And he performed unbelievably in the last year's World
Sure.
Championship. He beat two of the top Indonesian players who are in the Olympics right now, and to win the medal. So it was a remarkable performance. And he's backed it up with a couple of other performances in Swiss Open and a couple of other events. So, but this Olympics, it was again coming back to it. It was like the last 4 months. I think none of them have played an event,
Yeah.
and to hit form, to judge yourself is extremely tough. I'm sure it was the first event, first Olympics for him, and such a major event in such a large scale. Probably he wouldn't have played any event with so much hype,
Mm.
and I think that led to his performance in the first round. I think
Mm.
he was the better player by a mile, but it all depends on the way you perform that day. and
True.
probably the nerves got to him. Also, the opponent's game plan was quite good.
Mm.
The Misha Zilberman from Israel.
Yep,
I
yep,
played him
yep.
a couple of times last
Mm.
year. Srikanth played him. He's a tricky opponent. He's
Mm.
quite aggressive in his style of play, and probably I thought Sai was not up to his game from the
Mm.
start, and then probably after losing the first set, I think he felt a little more pressure,
Right.
which is possible, and he'll have to find a solution for it in the next round. I think he's a much better player than what people saw,
Mm.
and for now, for him right now is he has to try and just forget about it and give his best. The
Yep.
Olympics, it's an experience which everyone have to feel and just give their best,
Sure.
and it is this is what counts as a player,
Mm.
as a character. After losing such a game in the first round, in the first match of the group, you can come back and fight and show who you are in the second match. I
Mm.
think that will give him a lot of confidence. It's not only for the Olympics. We all. It's not like we are all quitting after such a major event. It will
That's true.
help him for the next 6 months, for the next
Yeah.
few years.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
the next match, how he performs and how he expresses himself will help him in the next 2 years. So I think he should just go and give his best and fight, his heart out and show who he is. So I remember even
Absolutely.
messaging him the other day, the same thing, just forget about it. I know who you are and what kind of a player you are. Don't worry and just, give your best. He was obviously upset that, he felt
Yeah.
pressure and, he could not recover from the pressure he felt and the nerves he felt.
Mm.
And the fact that the opponent is getting aggressive and then you're not able to get any sort of rhythm, this happens. But
Yeah.
just that it's the Olympics, you feel a lot more burden in your head. But you have another chance. Luckily, the format is a group format, and you have another chance to express yourself. Otherwise, the other events are knockout events. So he has
Mm.
another chance to prove himself against a tougher opponent. So wish him
But you
all
know
the
what?
luck.
What helps at the end of the day is a teammate like yourself, Kashyap, who's quietly whispering in his ear, saying, "It's okay, man. It's fine. You just need to regroup.
Yes,
You need to
yes,
get back on the horse. You need to ensure that you're going to bring your talent because that has never been doubted. It's just about how well you make sure that you shine." Makes sense, man.
yes,
Of course, moving on,
yes, yes, yes.
Kashyap, you obviously the big name. We're talking about PV Sindhu. Everyone, the entire country is literally holding their breaths. They're praying. We are doing everything possible
Yes,
uh, that she gets a medal. She repeats Rio and she
yes, yes,
betters Rio, and
yes,
she was, of course, a silver
yes,
medalist there. Now, walking, I mean, she's done as expected brilliantly well in the first round. She has mauled her opponent, I would say. And
yeah.
but the point that I would like to ask you in terms of as a fellow player is this: that when you know that you're now going to start approaching tougher competition in the quarters, potentially, and the semis, and these opponents whom you're going to probably potentially face, you don't really have a great record against them, personally speaking, right? So how do you overcome those kind of demons? Because there's still time to go. There is still time to kind of prepare. I'm, of course, talking about her potential matchups in the quarters with Yamaguchi, and of course in the semis where she's going to be taking on Taizu Ying. So what should be the mental makeup walking in? Because you kind of know, you've tested these waters, you've not fared well, not a great record, all of that. So how do you overcome that?
You don't think about all this, first of all, because it's
Perfect.
such a big event. When you are the favorite and expected to win, the pressure is just 100x,
Oh yeah.
and I can understand what Sindhu is feeling right now. The amount of pressure everyone expecting, and she's done it. Her mentality is it's just thinking about the next round and the next day, because right now the format is such that you have 3 days in between after that last round
Yeah.
she played. She's
Yeah.
playing probably on Wednesday, I guess. I'm not sure if it is Wednesday. So you have 2-3 days. So you'll have to think about today's training and today's workout. What am I going to do? tomorrow's workout, and you stop thinking about the match. You probably look at the videos of your opponent. The next opponent against this Hong Kong player is not bad. She's
Hmm.
quite tricky. She's played
Hmm.
very tough 3 sets matches in World Championships against Sindhu, almost winning against her. I think she was leading 18-15 in the third set, and Sindhu managed to come back from 15-18 in the third set and win against her. The World Championship which Sindhu played the final against Carolina in Nanjing 2 years
Sure.
back. So she's a tricky opponent. She's played 3 sets with Saina, with Sindhu in Hong Kong Open as well. So she's a very tricky opponent.
Hmm.
So she'll be thinking about that. That's about it. Not Taizu Ing, not
Not right,
Akane,
right.
Yamaguchi. They are all. If you don't win this match, you can't play that match. So there's no point even thinking about it. It's a
Makes
knockout
sense.
format. So, and it's also in a way they have to also make it to the quarterfinals. There's no point thinking about
Yeah.
them. Taizu Ing has a tough.
Yeah.
A tough round of 16 with Ratchanok, which against whom she has a very bad head-to-head. In Taizu Ing, if you ask her in the whole draw, if probably even if Carolina was there, she is the most. She doesn't like Ratchanok at all. She's always lost to her in major events. So. That is a match she will be fearing. So there's no point thinking about the draw here.
Yeah.
It's
Too many
always,
speculations all over the place.
too many
Yeah.
things, too many things to think about. So Sindhu will be probably every player should be focused on their next match, and all the top players, I'm sure they would be thinking about that.
Absolutely. And that's what probably obviously makes them the top players. That's very well said, Kashyap.
But for us to discuss, yes, it is a
Yeah.
draw which
I
we
mean,
have to
yes.
discuss. It is
Come
exciting.
on, we have to. It is
And,
exciting.
Yes. So I think her next round would give her a good rhythm to go into the next matches. I think I want to see how she performs in the next round. To assess how she's feeling, because it's really important. It doesn't matter how she wins. If it's a close match, you can take positives from there. If she wins very easily, you can take positives from that as well.
Sure.
So, sometimes a close match, a tight encounter suddenly opens you up mentally, because then you're prepared for any situation in the next round. Sometimes when you win very easily, it gives you, a couple of situations where, you're feeling very pumped up for the next match, or you've not had a fight and suddenly you're not ready for a fight. So any situation has both, angles to it, where, it'll help or it'll not help. Pros and cons are there from any situation.
Correct.
So, but it's important to see how you adjust to the conditions after a round. I'm sure the first round, as you all saw, it was not a fight, but she was just testing the conditions, and it will be interesting to see how she performs in the next match.
So Kashyap, now talking about the men's doubles team, I thought it was a remarkable performance in the first match. We beat the world number 3 Chinese Taipei. Not so great in the second one. We lost. Now, of course, given the pool that they're in, they need to win the next couple of. They need to win the matches. If the other team performs the way they do, then we kind of then get into that close quarters of checking the sets and the games and all of that. But what I'd like to ask you is I felt that their rhythm in the first match was beautiful. I think they were both complementing each other the way they were playing. Now, having said that, you win one, you lose one. How do you approach now the matches where you know that it's imperative, because only then you need, based on those performances, you can break into the quarters. So what is probably that little aspect that would be making them think right now?
So Satvik and Chirag, entering the tournament, they would have thought obviously that they are in good form. They've done well the last year, and but the group was a very tough group. Considering Sanjaya and Girian to be in that group, and then Li Yang and the other guy Wang Chilin to be in that group, who are probably one of the outside favorites to win the event as well. So to win that first round, going into the group stage, they would have thought it's a very tough group and we have to give our best. I don't think they were thinking, that we have to win this group, and as a mindset, I would say they have to give their best. And the best thing happened to them is playing the second favorites, in the group, to play against them and to win against them, because they are world number 3, and probably if you saw the stat, they didn't lose a match in the last 400 days or something, which I
Yes,
just
yes,
saw. They won the last three tournaments they played.
right.
So they were a very good pair, and to get that close win against them was a remarkable achievement. That too in a stage like Olympics, and
True.
you could see
And
the
that too your
reactions of the
first
Taipei
match.
players at the end.
That that too your first match, Kashyap. I mean,
That is your
it,
first match,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So yeah, and then you could see the reaction of the Taipei players at the end. They were extremely disappointed because they
yes,
knew that in this group, this was the most important match for them. Because you're going as an underdog against Sanjaya and Fernaldi. So
yeah,
I think it was a brilliant win, and it helps to have an Olympic medalist behind you, sitting behind you. I mean, Matthias Bo, I think he would have these kind of big events. He's always performed with his partner Morgensen in the last 10-15 years. So that experience counts, and I just felt from the word go, they were prepared for that situation. And how good a player you are doesn't matter, in these kind of events which there's a lot of pressure, and you'll have to play there is no second chance. You have to play your best game in that match. I think they were mentally prepared. They started off very well, and then the flow just happened, and then they were very lucky to win the match at the end, because I thought Taipei players at the end got really lucky with a couple of net cords, and
yes,
at the end, but somehow they could pull it off.
yeah,
These kind of situations in the end is like very luck dependent, and it's a 50-50 situation, and
mm,
you just need to hold your nerve, and then Chirag and Satvik could do it and get through. And I saw the match today as well, and they tried their best. I think Sanjaya was just in scintillating form in this match, like usual, like most of the days. And he's especially good in the game style which Chirag plays.
right,
Playing fast exchanges at the net, and Sanjaya is probably the best in the world in by a margin in that style. So, but they should not worry about it. They should immediately forget about this match and focus on their next match.
excellent.
They surely would have expected this match to go this way, probably a better fight, I would say.
Mm.
But they shouldn't be thinking much about it and immediately forget about it and think about the next match. And as a player, I wouldn't think about the stats and what you have to do. But having an idea is probably helpful, because it's a group stage. You need to know in what number of points and think about different situations. But finally, after all this, if you don't perform on the court, it doesn't make much of sense. So you have to forget about everything and just play their game in the next match. I think they have a very good chance to qualify. I don't see them, losing the next match against the
Yeah,
English pair, I guess. Yeah.
yes, yes,
So it will be a tough match. The English pair are, they got a very lucky entry into the Olympics,
mm,
and they will try to prove themselves. But I think Chirag and Satvik are the better pair,
right,
technically and as well, with their performances, confidence-wise.
yeah,
So they just need to go and just give their best, and just make sure they get through this match. So
excellent.
they should not think about stats and anything. This match is like probably their round of 16. If they win this,
Right,
then they're through to the quarters. So they have to
true.
just think about it as a knockout match, and they have to play as like you play every other tournament. Because it doesn't matter what the group is happening. If they
Fair
lose,
enough.
then these
Yeah.
stats come into picture.
Then
But if
yes,
they win, it's
exactly,
just a knockout match. So I think.
exactly.
Yeah, so but the critical thing would be to forget about today's match, because
Mm.
it would have been, after winning against Liang and such a big pair, and losing against Sanjaya and Fernaldi in
Yeah.
this way today, it will hurt them a little bit, but they should immediately forget about it, and just focus and try and get back to training and get a rhythm in the next few days.
So, Kashyap, I obviously want to ask about you now personally.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? You've been unfortunately plagued by injuries in the past, in the recent past. All of that has been happening. So first and foremost, I hope and pray that you're doing very well and you're back to your full fitness. Because the lead-up question is that we are extremely excited to see you in all your glory and your brilliance in 2022. We obviously want to see you in the Commonwealth Games and the Asian Games. So, are we going to be getting that opportunity?
I want to be there. I want to perform in that level again. That is my focus right now. And probably the next couple of months also. There have been some events announced in August and September, but I would be backing off from them and just focusing on trying to get back my fitness. And probably September and October I'll start playing events. I don't know where my ranking would drop, and I don't know what are the cutoffs for Commonwealth Games and Asian Games, because people forget, it is finally, up to the ranking. The
Sure.
top two from the country in the world ranking qualify to play these
Mm.
events, the
Mm.
individual events.
Sure.
So that will be my focus right now. I probably am third or fourth in the ranking in when it comes to Indians, and I'm probably at 31 right now. So 31 or 34, I'm not sure.
Mm.
So the first basic aim is to get back into the top 25
Sure.
and then progress towards a higher ranking, and there, so on and so forth. For that to happen, first I have to be at my peak fitness. So I'm going to take a 2 month training period from now on, and then sort things out. And as I said, it's every day. I can't
Yeah.
think too much ahead. It's just tomorrow how I feel, what am I going to train, and the next 2 months plan, and then tournaments, and then how I'm playing in the tournament. So it's a process.
Sure.
That's how I'm going to think about it right now. I would love to be part of the Asian Games and the Commonwealth Games, and give myself a shot in those events. So, but first things first. The next two
Yeah.
months are pretty crucial for me, and get back to fitness. Yeah.
So, well, of course, before we let you go, Kashyap,
Thank you.
I would like you
Yes.
to give a message to the entire Indian contingent at the Olympics, and of course, the badminton contingent at the Olympics. That's what I would think would be nice.
Yeah. I'm so happy to see Mirabai Chanu win
Yes.
the medal on the first day after the opening ceremony. It was fantastic. And I wish the entire contingent, every single athlete, the best. Please just focus on your matches, not think about winning a medal, not think about anything else. Let everything go and enjoy the experience of Olympics and try and give your best. And the only thing which will happen from that is probably you will win a medal. So
Yeah.
I would want them to give their best, and think about preparing, think about visualizing that, they're doing their best performance ever, and I'm sure the medal will follow. It will be a product of what you perform. So I wish them all the luck in the next few coming days, and hopefully we get a lot more medals.
Fair enough. Well, it has been a true pleasure, Kashyap, having you on the show. You have spoken so beautifully about all the highs, lows, the belief, the focus that one needs to maintain. There's just so much one tends to learn, and so many takeaways which one can implement in one's own life and better oneself. I'm going to try to, of course, do that. I hope I don't keep failing miserably like I have been till now. But of course, there is inspiration, there is a next day, and we carry on. And this
Yes,
is, of
yes.
course, hoping that you're back in action really soon. And of course, all of you guys watching, keep watching the Olympic story, because every day we bring you a great, beautiful, shining superstar like Kashyap himself to discuss that particular sport where he has done brilliantly well. And of course, the show is powered by Sports Adda. Needless to say. Thank you so much.